Hello, and welcome back to Chroma Endless, where today we are going to get into some create. First thing I want to do today is go on a little mining trip. A lot of these create machines we want take brass, which is a combination of copper and zinc, and we don't have a whole lot of copper, so we're going to go on a quick little mining trip and get that taken care of. Alright, I didn't find a whole lot of copper, but I think we got enough that it'll last us through today. So with that, we can begin making our way through this create progression here, starting off with andesite alloys. And for that, we're going to use our smeltery here, just to pour some iron onto andesite. I'm going to make use of a couple hoppers here, just to make this process a little easier. There we are. And if we throw a lever on here, this should go ahead and start running. So we could just let this go and it'll make a bunch of these andesite alloys for us. And while that's going, we can make a couple of our first machines here, starting with the shaft, the cogwheels, a couple of large cogwheels, some andesite casings. And for power here, I think we're going to go with the windmill, just because it's very simple to make and it gives a lot of power. For that though, we're going to need a sticky piston, which luckily there's a pretty nice way to get some slime balls here. There we go. And for these sails, we do need a little bit of wool, but there's no sheep around. So I think that'll work. Alright, I think we can go ahead and throw our setup right here. And there we go. Doesn't look much like a windmill, but it does work, so we'll take it. And the windmill does hold quite a bit of stress units, so we should be able to amp up the speed quite a bit with no problems. And as far as machines go, we're only going to need a couple here, starting with the mechanical press, which will give us an easier way to make plates, and the mixer, and this will allow us to mix brass, which is where this guy we got yesterday comes in. Hello. I think I made the wrong thing here. Alright, hopefully that's enough for now. Next, we're going to want to make some of these mechanical crafters. It looks like, though, we're going to need some treated wood from Immersive. And to get that, we're going to need to build one of these coke ovens. And all we need to do to make that is throw some grout and sandstone into a mixer. To actually form this multi-block, though, we're going to need to make the engineer's hammer, which isn't just a normal crafting recipe. Oh my goodness, what is that? To make this recipe, we're going to need a few deployers. The only other thing that this hammer needs is just one lead ingot. I haven't found any lead though while mining. I think we may have to go mining again. Oh, that was easy. And with that, we can go ahead and make our hammer. There we go. And with this, we can smack our coke oven. And if we slap some coal in here, this will slowly but surely make us a bunch of creosote oil. And with a bucket full of this, we can grab ourselves some treated wood. And with that, we should be able to make all the mechanical crafters we need. And there we go. It's definitely not the prettiest setup in the world. I think I may move the smeltery just to make room for everything we got going on. I did make a wrench from Create, just so we can turn these around and point them all in the same direction. And we can use these crafters here to craft up some crushing wheels. Ah, I love that. It's so satisfying. These crushing wheels we can use to crush all of these chunks we have into crushed ore, and then we can wash these and it'll give us a ton of nuggets, and that way we won't have to run them through the smeltery every time we want ingots. Alright, I think I've got everything crafted on up here. I've gone ahead and made another windmill just to keep this separated from our main stuff over here. And to build our ore processing system here, we're going to start with a depot and put some water here and a fan in the back. Wrong way. And then above the depot, we're going to put a chute and then our 2 crushing wheels. On top of those, we're going to place another chute and our chest. Off this depot here, we're going to place our brass funnel. Make sure we add that on extract. And then we want a filter on there so it'll only spit out the nuggets. On the other side, we're going to put another brass funnel, set it to extract. And this one, we want a filter for cobblestone. Just because this washing recipe sometimes has a chance to spit out cobblestone. And we could just put a trash can here later, and it'll just get rid of it for us. Off of this side, we're going to place a belt here. And I'm going to have this go into a chest. We'll put our funnel here and another one on this side. This one doesn't need a filter, but we are going to change it so that it'll only spit out 9 nuggets at a time. And that will go into our basin here. And this will compress those nuggets into ingots. That's why we only want 9 at a time, just so nothing gets mixed in here. And then on this side of the basin, we're going to put our last funnel here. And another belt, and this funnel is going to have an ingot filter, so that way it won't spit out any of the nuggets while they're sitting in there. Last but not least, we've got a drawer controller here, and this is just where all of the finished ingots are going to come out. And I'm sure we'll need more of these drawers, but for now, we'll just throw those there. And that's pretty much it. All we have to do is hook it all up. Alright, and that should be everything all hooked up. All we have to do now is throw all these chunks we've got in here, and we should see it start to go. I think we got a visitor. And there we go, our first ingots. Now that we got all this set up, there's just a couple of things I'd like to get done for the rest of this episode. Now that we've made our way through Create, we have the potential to automate some very useful items that will come in handy later. I'm just going to do a quick little time lapse and get that all set up. Alright, I think we got everything set on up here. All we should have to do now is throw this lever on here and click it on. And if we just give it a little shove, it should start going. I only had a few spruce saplings, so we're gonna have to wait for those to grow. I might bone meal them to give them a heads. Oh, ow. Yeah. The way this works is it's just a little minecart contraption here. Everything is connected to these linear chassis. We've got a couple saws and the deployers, which have sapling filters on them, and we'll place them as it grows along. I'm gonna go grab some bone meal so we can give it a little head start here. And then all of the items will come down into these drawers here. I've got a couple of void upgrades just to get rid of the extra things we don't need, because really we just want the wood. So I'm gonna throw them on these two drawers here, and then that way it doesn't get backed up on sticks and saplings. Alright, and all that's left to do now is throw up a nice looking building around here. I've got a great idea for a greenhouse that we can put up. I've gathered a whole bunch of materials already. Hope I got enough. I didn't really know how much I needed, so we're just gonna hope for the best here. All right, and there we go. I think we're about done. This greenhouse design is inspired by one team on YouTube. I'll be sure to link them down in the description. And I'm going to come through later and add a floor and everything and some decorations in here just so it's not grass all over the place. But I think that just about wraps it up for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.